So let's now go ahead and make a few modifications to the look and feel of this specific template. So we won't be doing much over here. Instead, what we will just do is that we will add this horizontal lines over here at the end of each section. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So let's copy the HR tag, and just as we have this HR tag after the user profile details, I'll go ahead and add that up after the summary. I'll go ahead and add that up after listing out the skills. At the education, we don't want to add that because this is our final section. So one more interesting thing which you can do here is that as the user has school, you can type in schooling and have the user school listed up over here. And as now the user also has a degree and he has obtained that degree from a specific university, you can go ahead and make use of this degree over here as well. So you can say something like, let's say the user profile dot degree, and you can say from this specific university. And now I guess we also forgot to add roles in the previous lecture, so you can go ahead and add that up as well. So you can go ahead and make use of this previous work field to add up the previous roles of the candidate. So I'll go ahead and again copy the HR tag, paste it up over here. I'll simply go ahead, copy this particular tag, paste it up over here, and I'll say something like previous work, and let's say this is going to say something like previous underscore work. So now once we have these things, our PDF should look a little bit different. So let's go ahead and try that thing for the user profile 1. So it's going to again download the PDF, and when I open it up, as you can see, now this thing looks much better. So we have a nice looking CV right over here. So you can style this thing up in any fashion or in any manner which you want. And now let's go ahead and do the final thing of actually listing up the profiles on a specific page so that we can download the PDF of any particular student. So doing that is quite simple. You can do that on your own as well. You simply need to go ahead, create a view, get all the objects, render all of those objects on that template by using the context. So you can pause this video, you can try that on your own as well, or you can just go ahead and follow along. So let's go ahead and type in def, and let's give it some sort of simple name like a list, and it's going to accept a request, and then we'll get the profile. So I'll say profile equals profile dot objects dot all, because we obviously want all of the candidates which are actually present in our database. And then I'll simply type in return render, and we'll render the template which we have not yet created. So let's create a template at PDF, and let's name this template as list.html, and then we will finally pass in the context as profile as. Okay, so once we have this thing, let's go ahead and create the template which is list.html. So let's go to the templates directory, let's go to PDF, create a new file, and I'll say something like list.html. Okay, so in here, let's actually have the tag. And in here, I'll go ahead and simply add up a bootstrap CDN link over here. So I already have that link copied with me. So I'll simply go ahead and add it up over here. So if you want, you can go ahead and add bootstrap to your site as well. So after adding bootstrap, let's create a container. So that's going to be div class container. And in there, let's go ahead and create a row and column. So I'll say div, the class equals row. And we can also go ahead and set the margin for this row using a bootstrap built-in class which is called as m-5. So that's actually going to leave a margin of 5 on either side. And now let's go ahead and create a column. So div class equals col -md-12. This should be col. And now once we have this, let's go ahead and add something like a heading which says something like CV database users, or let's say profile list. And now once we have that, let's actually go outside this row And let's go ahead and loop through all the profiles. So I'll make use of the template syntax in here. So I'll say for profile in profiles, because profiles is our context object, and we'll make use of end for over here. So I'll say end for, and in here let's go ahead and create another row. So I'll say div, the class is going to be equal to row, so class is going to be equal to row, and in there let's go ahead and create a column. So I will say div class equals call dash md dash 6, and I'll go ahead and get the profile name first. So I'll say profile dot name, and because we want to display the profile name, and after displaying the profile name, ahead of it we actually want to go ahead and actually have a link to that specific person's PDF page so that we can download that page. So in here I can type in the a tag, and the href of this is going to be slash profile.id, because what we want to do is that we want to emulate the action of actually visiting the web page, which is localhost port 8000 / the ID. So I'll simply go ahead and give it an ID as nothing but the profile ID for that specific name. Now once we have that, let's say we say something like download CV in this link's name, and you can also make this link act or look like a button by using Bootstrap by adding a simple class to this. So you can say class equals btn dash warning, and you can also go ahead and right when the div tag ends, you can add a HR tag over here to separate all of the list names. So you can say /HR over here. So now once we have this view and once you have rendered the template, let's actually go ahead create a URL pattern for this specific view. So I'll say something like path, and let's have the path as list. So the view is nothing but views.list, and let's also have the name for this thing as list. Give a comma and you should be good to go. So now the server is up and running. So now if I go to /list, as you can see, it's not displaying any names over here because we might have messed something up while creating the view. Okay, so the reason why it was not working is because we have used the context as profiles in here, but over here it says profile. So this should actually be profiles, and once we make it profiles, you also need to change the context over here as profiles. So once you go ahead and do that, and once you hit refresh, as you can see, now you have the list of all the candidates for which you want to download the CV. So if I click on download CV for Jim, as you can see at the bottom left of the screen, it's showing the URL as /2, and for this it's showing the URL as /1. So whenever you click on these respective download CV buttons or links over here, it's actually going to go ahead and download the respective CVs for you. And I guess the Bootstrap button class isn't working either. So let's go ahead and fix that as well. So if we go to list.html, I again misspelled this thing, and I actually apologize for the typos and everything. That's actually a part of programming, and also this should actually be HR. And once we go ahead and fix that, as you can see, our list actually looks much more better. So that's it for this lecture, and hopefully you guys enjoyed making this CV generator. So thank you very much for watching, and in the upcoming lectures we'll be building a different project. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.